has me wondering. Thought that I had figured it out. Nothing could get through to me, but this kind of chemistry has me wondering. When you're not around it, all goes black and white. How come I'm not seeing in color? Lost without you, I can't make it through the night. How come I'm not seeing in color? How come I'm not seeing in color? How come I'm not seeing in color? So far gone, I'm caught up, infatuated by our symmetry. It feels like before now, I was only half of me. Thought that I had figured it out, never felt it rationally, but this sense of urgency has me wondering. Thought that I had figured it out, nothing could get through to me, but this kind of chemistry has me wondering. When you're not around it, all goes black and white. How come I'm not seeing in color? Lost without you, I can't make it through the night. How come I'm not seeing in color? How come I'm not seeing in color? So far gone. Go on myself. I'm cold steel stainless. My glass half full. Always said don't suffer no fools. Serpents daydream. I bite, you call me lovely. Got a sweet tooth. I'm gonna get the sugar from you. When they say I'm a machine gun, I take it as a compliment. Honey, you should know I can be a weapon. You have habits just like me. Talk too much with strangers. Get way too serious around family. And I don't have any wishes, but when I kiss you, our lips fit well. And I don't have expectations, but when I daydream, I fall asleep, and our hands melt. It started out as teasing, but I had deeper meaning when I touched your chest. Now I don't know how, but if I did, and I don't have any wishes, but when I kiss you, our lips fit well. And I don't have expectations, but when I daydream, I fall asleep, and our hands melt. But if I did,
Hello and welcome back to the NECC as we jump into some more collegiate action here for Counter-Strike 2. My name's Vincent, joined by Get the Bag Mark, and welcome back, Mark. It's been a couple of weeks. How was your Halloween?
It was lovely. It was lovely, Vincent. We had some collegiate Counter-Strike fun over on a different league. I got to go and enjoy the festivities a little bit. Yeah, I ended up dressing up as Tony Soprano. It was last minute. But
Classic.
It wasn't bad. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't like have any props or anything, but it was good.
I need to see a
What about
picture of
you?
that, to be
What
honest
about
with
you?
you.
Did
Me?
you dress up as a very handsome broadcaster on Halloween?
I did.
Oh.
I can't believe you guessed
knew
that.
it.
That's crazy. Our friend Time to Light, actually, I dressed up as him. I had a wig and everything.
Oh.
It's too bad. Too bad that nobody saw that. But anyway, as we jump into who we're going to be covering here tonight on NECC, we've got Kennesaw State University going up against Boston University in Division 1. This is going to be exciting. You and I got the privilege of watching Kennesaw State a couple of weeks back, actually towards the beginning of this collegiate season elsewhere, but we have yet to really see Boston University play, so it'll be a privilege for us to get to take a peek at, Mark.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, obviously, you've heard of Fisher College out there, you know, in the Boston area, doing really well in the collegiate scene. Maybe it's time to tune into, you know, actual, you know, more precedent of Boston, you know, maybe a university that I have, you know, gotten into, you know, seeing into other parts of the city. You know, you go and get into other parts of the scene, Vincent, and you'll, you know, come across another top 25 team here in collegiate. So I think it's cool getting that, you know, over in like I'm really going off track here. I loved in the Collegiate League of Legends days when Maryville had, a rival of SLU, and they were fortunately still a program. I miss them having a league team, but that's what I mean. Those rivalries are cool, and we gotta appreciate them while we're here, Vinny. So I'm really excited to see this Boston team today, here for the first time, like you mentioned.
Yeah. Listen, I'm super pumped to that. Let me just check in on the Kennesaw State team, though. A couple of substitutes in the server here tonight. Last time we actually got to see most of this iteration of the roster. Toasters and 6-4, not typically starters necessarily, but have been, in more often than not. But we didn't see Oryx last time, which is a huge deal considering he's a very strong rifling component to this Kennesaw State team. They come in 4-3 on the season here, just above 500. Boston University trying to get to exactly that point. They're 3-3, not yet played the number of games that Kennesaw State has. So, for Boston University, an opportunity here, certainly going to be exciting to see what they can offer up in that way. I will say, just kind of looking down the line, you got some shooters on this Boston University team for sure.
Yeah, I know that, we were noting just in the, pregame before we went live there a couple of minutes ago that it might be, really kind of featuring a couple of substitute players, but we don't really know maybe how consistent the lineup already is. So I think this is looking good today, where maybe you have, a substitute that looks to be pretty strong on the other side. Fire meets fire. That looks to be good today. We can kind of wipe that asterisk off of the board in that sense.
Yeah, I don't know if I heard correctly, but I think we're ready to jump in and talk about this veto, where indeed we are. Beautiful stuff. Gonna get a chance to look into a Dust 2. A big surprise here on the collegiate front. We've come to expect that. We've got Ancient here at Boston bringing us over to there, and Mirage as a decider. This feels, I would say, pretty normal, all things considered, as I think we're getting into this thing ASAP, Mark. Let's get moving. Dust 2 is already underway.
Yeah, and it's the pick by Kennesaw, so Boston is going to have the selection here. We're going to go with the CT side, and got to see what they're made of immediately. Just got to focus on shooting, and here goes NECC right immediately up Cat, and just cut up after immediate start to what Kennesaw, just showed with the pack here. So Boston going to be aware of where the attention is coming in this round, and it's up towards the catwalk. They're going to make this next step. Tyler off his back foot is going to be put down. These Tech 9s are being met right at the corner until they catch up. Now, Bobby Boo, he's on the way in, Vinny.
He's got a big task up ahead of him. This Tech 9, first and foremost. Oryx is wielding that, but isolating that fight is a big opportunity. Still not able to connect. Finally does. The full reload for this 1v1 against Nitsua.
It further forward, just got the lineup. It's one headshot. Nitsua standing as captain on the side, and Bobby, he will catch the clutch. Hops on it. 10-second defuse. Boston University gonna get the keys to this Dust 2 immediately.
Yeah, great work in a 1v2, a situation that for Kennesaw I feel like could have been a little bit better for them considering how separated these guys were, but all things considered, Bobby doing a great job with it. Actually grabs the Tech 9. Might just hang on to that as the primary here in a second. Just kidding. NECC is the one to take it. Premium on the CT side, most would say. Kennesaw State. Bomb plant. Usually going to meet a force buy, but not this time around. It is a buy of sorts, but pistol armor for a couple, but mostly just up to the premium pistols. Okay. Nice work from Ghazi.
Gonna get 3 there, lining them up. Even the last with the pistol. And talking about those premium rifles, well, you're kind of hitting a wall. Not armored up. Sprinting into those. Maybe just not Nitsua. He's getting tagged up. Do a speed, bag him up. Absolutely the case. Looks to be no casualties so far. Orc separated from the rest of the pack, but we know this guy is supposed to be dangerous. Maybe we can watch him along here. See if he does end up approaching NECC in the site. I'm afraid Tyler might just catch him in the end, forming up a flank, and should have the angle. Has found him, whiffs on him, but has it at the end. It does come true, Vinny. No casualties out here for Boston as a pretty clean start to the game we're looking at.
Yeah, and I think, maybe to tack on, we didn't get to talk about expectations too heavily there in the pre-show, but for me, I think Boston may be slightly favored in this game. Obviously, we haven't seen these two teams head to head, but in games where they've played the same opponents already this season, Boston done slightly better, even in some losses as well. So I think maybe a little bit of an edge in that direction. Scout, as well as an AWP here for the CT side. Leals and EKs across the board as Breaks is going to find Tyler through the mid smoke.
A lot of damage done on the Yoshi's. Can't confirm the frag, but that's Oryx getting a great entry. He's going to continue to kind of run it uphill right now. Almost landing that second headshot, just splits it onto the site. Boston now a pretty decent amount of distance to overmake. You maybe didn't even have to give over a kill like that. It's going to be Bobby walking it back in the process. But yeah, Vinny, kind of looking at the, standings over here in Division 1 GD, kind of looks like Carnegie Mellon and UCF are kind of heads above everybody else. One undefeated, Carnegie Mellon 7-0. UCF just sitting at 5-1. And everybody else kind of floating, sitting around or above 500. 500 Boston is 3-3. Just one win over the line is Kennesaw State, right? So if Kennesaw State can win a game like this, join the 5-win club, like that's a big jump for them as the end of the regular season, is just right around the corner. Am I incorrect?
No, you're not at all. That's the case, and so no doubt want to get involved in that. We gotta find a way to get these wins. They are premium here at the end. Ghazi going to be forced back from long. Nice counter utility, and it will set Ghazi up for success. More flashes bombed in as that happens. And I thought that one would have been a little bit more effective. Jump capable of 2 kills, and now they can sprint up long uncontested.
Yeah, now you're going to be just on the corner. Let's get lucky, land a spray. There's a lot of damage. They're going to follow it up with an HE. Utility of some sort. They just don't have the positioning. Tyler in the process does have the AWP, but this bomb gets put down, and they have so much control of this A site, they may not let it go. I feel like that's an accurate assumption I make right now, because they're going to have to wait 10 seconds to even see through Catwalk. Bobby getting active below.
I would think that this is time to go, but Bobby keeps stepping forward, and Tyler doesn't respect that smoke. They don't even wait it out, pays the price. Off now in hands of KSU. Great work out of them. And, Oryx has been dominant in the entry duty. Well, this time it's Junk who does some heavy lifting over at long. 2 kills, sprint up. Oryx gets there late on the cat swing and good enough to shut Boston down. We're at the tied scoreline mark with Boston on a half buy at best. It looks like it's just the eco entirely.
Nobody's going to reinvent the wheel type right quick, but I feel like we're missing an anchor at long. And that anchor in Insua is sprinting back because we're not presenting these fights with the AK. Somebody else inside of the site. Thankfully, half of these fights are just happening in front of the doors. Gonna see players peeking down below. Nitsua got a little bit more protection, and now he's going to want to poke and prod for this. The smoke's still up top. Nakas ran all the way through T-spawn. And Kennesaw State will steal this tied game tag and rip it off of this game. Take their lead.
Yeah, I think very important for KSU to have this type of early success. Looks good. Little swap up on the eco as well with a faster B move that is entirely going to dismantle Boston's ideas of a mid push. And even Nitsua, who you would have thought the one to be punished if there was going to be, he was really solo in suicide, could have gotten caught, finds a way to get out, and grab a couple of kills on the way. So it is KSU, big victory for them to take that lead. They're a mad pick, but we're going to see the repurchase here for Boston. And they have already shown that they're capable of looking to get aggressive. They did that in the eco round just a moment ago. Do so again.
Tags Bobby on the pass. Have to get this man some assistance already. Kind of burning down his neck, quite literally. You know there's got to be a player pushing in, down to lower. Bloodbath already showing. Boston gonna hit back. They should have known about Yoshi. You got a triple kill presented right now. Toasters wanting to just take this next fight, put out this problem. They're gonna take it up cat.
Tyler, I think, is looking to get here just in time. Yes, he is ready to go, and it's an off angle. It's beautiful to give Boston the victory. And that's just it, Mark. Maybe should have known, but they certainly weren't aware that that Yoshi was in lower. They didn't hear anything. The molly didn't tick. There was no indication, and they didn't see on the cross either that there was anyone into lower. That is exactly what gives the surprise factor over to Yoshi. Both the players on Catwalk are fighting. They both lose, and Yoshi is counterfeited. That's a beautiful positioning that's going to end up working well for Boston.
Boston very active on the CT side again. I think I've thrown a CT smoke out from the back of sight to get inside of the long doors. That's what's pulling off. Kind of saw stayed from actually getting some vision through in this setup. They lost Tyler. Still gets a kill onto Nitsua. The next development is going to be now actually taking that long step. 6-4 clears out and doesn't get any sort of problem.
The fact that they've been able to return the favor of that opening pick. Yoshi, though, gets active. Great timing for it. Just as they slide up Catwalk, that's where he's looking to clear. And a missed shot from Oryx opens the door for Ghazi to get a double.
Ghazi posting up a really good hold here. And I have a feeling isn't done. Both these players down to half HP. Ghazi alone just will get that assist at the end. Boston University still rolling. Have a really good side anchor to thank for that round win. A triple out there for Ghazi. Puts them to the top of the board here for Boston.
I mean, you're seeing, some really important individuals step up there. This round, it's Ghazi, Tyler getting the opening pick, and, a team effort. That Yoshi push gives Ghazi a little bit more confidence to stand and fight. They know that the fight's got to be coming Catwalk because Yoshi's already clearing mid, which means that Boston knows what's coming a step ahead of KSU. This isn't the greatest of buys, but it's heading to be.
Bobby with the spray down. Bobby can go. Tanechi, that's got to bounce and does a whole lot of damage. They're still manage space, right? They manage this utility town. I got a feeling Boston are going to go, not give them a second to breathe. Toasters punishes them for that. It slows down at least the idea of the immediate response.
Incredible work, and I feel like even more than that, trying to step forward a little too fast. Ghazi now on the one side of the smoke. 1 HP for Tyler, who's holding the AWP, and it's not enough. KSU prove why this is the hardest site to retake in the entire pool. B-site on Dust 2 is tough for that reason. Boston get a little out ahead of themselves, in my opinion, trying to fight individually initially. And that problem, it turns into a bigger one as Kennesaw continue to win.
Original hold there, almost responsible for like 400 damage. We got our producer catching some of these things. They live on such a little, and especially that big name. I think it may have passed in the process. It was due for so much. They're already decking it. And this one, maybe doesn't pass through any small details. It's pretty clear how this one goes. Kind of crushing them in middle. And I saw staged out of 5th pretty quick.
Yeah, it's the same idea that Boston went back to in one of those previous rounds. I talked about them trying to push on an anti-eco. Same deal here, where try to get aggressive mid. Doesn't really go very well. 6-4 with a double kill, and Ghazi trying with a covered weapon, but doesn't get too awful far. Kennesaw State, they're going to take back the lead. It's that B rush that changes the tide. And Boston, now the ones who are on the back foot. But as we get deeper into this half, it's proven very clear to me, Mark, that there really isn't anyone who's standing a cut above when you're talking about these two teams. It's been close all the way through, and I don't think that changes.
Point at which I haven't seen this CT side taking a ribbon away from, like, I feel like the 2 big swing rounds that I've seen them collect. I kind of have to agree with that diagnosis. Kennesaw State, they're warming up, and I don't know if they can't be stopped. It would have to be from another one of these site holds. Magazi's still alive, and now on top of this box. It could be one of the most uncomfortable spots to actually get a clip. I got a feeling they may boost here. It seems like the smoke and the separation is they're going to take advantage of. Reposition back towards catwalk, but going to have to wait. Overstepping is NECC. It may just be Bobby alone. Literally toasters now. But they can just engineer this one exactly how they want. Plenty of time. And a hit on old Bobby. And there is the contact. Gazi even responsible for the kill. There is Boston with another tied game.
That's great work. And Bobby, you know, the question often remains, like, how to play from CT there. It's really uncomfortable positioning. You were talking about it, but I think Bobby does a great job of just not ever showing himself. It lulls NECC into a false sense of security where he's going for a swing where he thinks they've given the entirety of the ramp there when that's not the reality. Bobby was sitting inside the smoke, playing around close to elevator the entire time. Was never overcommitted, but always ready to punish a regression, and that's where Kennesaw, they go wrong. And look at what it does. You know, puts RB Junk into a tight spot economically. NECC still claiming an AWP, but a missed shot in mid means that it's a little bit more on front for Boston. They're aware of it now.
Saw him. Tyler flipping out. Might have missed the detail, but got a nice AK entry. Counted for 2. Out here for Kennesaw. They're gunning for the B site once again. That seems to be their special. Getting this one spam. Gotta be able to help the anchor. Gotta be able to alleviate some of the pressure, and it's not able to happen. Kennesaw State are going to be able to lock up this round. Boston University have already learned what happens when they are unfavored in these B retakes. Hell, even when they've been favored in these B retakes, Vinny.
Yeah, and I mean, you add to that it's the end of the half here, makes it even harder to try and go for this. But yeah, Oryx ain't taking no prisoners. He's sitting 12-8, Mark, with a whole lot more to give. Yoshi, a valiant effort here to hold on to this gun, and he might just do it. Swinging to the yacht, never mind. Yoshi got them all. Be on for an ace here, but
I was just saying, don't peek me.
Yeah, he doesn't want that smoke, and I don't blame him. Kennesaw not exactly economically the best spot themselves, with a couple of low dollars on their side as Boston do the most to try and save that up.
To close throughout the entire first half. Kennesaw State have such a better buy right now. And there is the opener. NECC got to sprint it down. Even putting his body on the line right here to get the entry, but knows it's not. Just immediately put it on tap. This is a quick round here. Kennesaw State should have the 7th. They do.
It's great work out of the T side. I think some good calling too. There was not really a lot of slow or methodical rounds out of KSU, but they were quick to adjust. They were quick to make changes, and they also were consistently willing to, you know, adjust in the pace that they were playing. Generally fast, but sometimes with a little bit different timings. Looking to exploit that B site for as many times as they were taking advantage of cat control. think that KSU can be pretty happy with how they able to maneuver themselves into a little bit of a lead. But Boston, T-side starts here.
Kennesaw State already making it problems, spamming off that Glock. 6'4" getting in range. They're now turning the corner. And Tyler tucking, running away from this. Knowing that these shots are going to be personal. Yoshi's got a couple for you. Not escaping middle. Not yet. Oryx still causing a little bit of attention to stir. And just 1, 2, 3. There's the end of the round. 6-4. That quad kill, Vinny. 8th round for Kennesaw.
Up to 14, 6-4. The amount of work that he's doing, obviously getting up mid there is an incredibly risky proposition for the CT side, but he gets a lot of early information and it really disrupts Boston. They can't get the bomb out of spawn. Tyler, he has the bomb, and that's why he's kind of hiding, not playing to fight, because he doesn't want to lose that device, but he does eventually, thanks to 6-4's unending, unyielding push up middle. KSU, they get the better. They're going to tack on an additional couple of rounds of lead before Boston can get the chance to answer with rifles.
Same way, there's Oryx with a great headshot. Tyler's around that corner. Let's have possession of a rifle. I'm not sure this FAMAS is going to be spraying too much away into the hands back of the offense. Junk puts this into a 4v1. Easy work. The Boston eco round. Kennesaw's map pick is off to a great start in the second half. Excuse me.
That's good stuff. That trio, Oryx, who was quite explosive at the beginning of this. Nitsua, who's been very consistent, and 6-4, who's been a really reliable second star. It's that 3, excuse me, that are looking to continue to push this lead a little bit deeper, but Boston, pretty lackluster set of utility. 2 smokes and 4 flashes total with a single grenade. Hoping to get out long some of those flashbangs, but Ghazi, down and lower, catches the aggression of KSU.
Oryx holding strong. Flash up. Catwalk. And Oryx might have to take a multi-kill and then some. A double kill already. Tyler pulling the plug in this round. That's just the feeling, but now wiped away. 3 clutch that Yoshi is just going to be squashing. Watch this clutch with the little bullets left as he walks this way. The flick of the one tap. There is no way he clutches in that sort of style. Boston University can use that fuse lit on the T side. Now they got it.
No doubt, Yoshi's been there. Swing rounds have been his bread and butter, and he does it again. CT side, remember that lower round where he is active, getting into the mix. This is that, but in the late round, 3 kills in a 1v3 clutch. Only with a couple of bullets left in the chamber, does it in style. Making up for a really struggling NECC at the moment. Putting Kennesaw State in a tight spot themselves. Got a Scout, an MP9, a Deagle, Nitsua, an Op without armor. He's on Catwalk and he's about to meet a lot of resistance.
Nice frag. Passing back. Should be a nade. Beast on it. Tyler still confirmed. Kennesaw grouping up. And the problem of this, really adding him up. Now with their Scout going so far. Clutch opportunity now to the way of Kennesaw. 6-4. He's going to get this on the initial spray down. Yoshi, so low. 18 HP and is wiped away. So easily faded. This A-site and clutches, Vincent. Just one in the same. This time it's going the way of Kennesaw, and it gives them double digits first.
That's an incredible rotation made by Kennesaw State. By the time Ghazi gets that kill onto Nitsua's Op on site, they had entirely rotated. There was 4 players on Cat, like, rotating in by the time that kill goes down. That's the surprise. That's why Boston, they don't understand why there's so much more resistance. A scout that does some heavy lifting, and more from that nade that enabled the scout that not only dropped on the head of Tyler, knocked on that kill, but it's 3 HP bars that go down to about 50 HP from the single nade of KSU.
NECC with the headshot onto Nitsua. Works can call for some help. Let's have 6-4 in range, but now who's gonna ask for it? 6-4, great 2 kills, but I don't think it's gonna be enough. These rotations just back into CT, but they gotta bend pretty quick.
What an incredible resurgence these last couple of rounds from NECC. And as you say, I think a little bit questionable. Wait, the bomb just now getting there. This cross could be deadly, but they are no longer watching, no longer waiting. Gonna saw a lot of time taken. They're wondering why this bomb not yet ticking. Now it is. Ghazi as the smoke fades, prime position, but denied. 2-on-2.
Through that molly, takes most of that damage, gets this kill. Yoshi will manage. 1v1. Pulling onto the site is Boston University. Yoshi, he's got junk down so low. Got the space as well, knowing they're so close. The quick scope and a 7th confirmed here. Still trying, still turning. Rounds over on this T side.
You move from a round that probably should have been Boston's to begin with, but is stolen away by 6-4 in a 1v2 into a round that Boston can convert themselves. It's on the back of NECC with the step up that I highlighted. It's 4 kills of the last 2 rounds, was 1 and 13 prior to that. But it's been really doing the heavy lifting here. Puts KSU back onto a bad spot. Tyler gets visual on a large number of CTs, but it's straight into B. Did Boston go sprinting?
I saw this map gonna get competitive here at the end. Those lose their lives, and we'll have to wait just a little bit longer. Oryx and 6-4 sitting around by far. Most impactful players out here so far, or Kennesaw on the CT side, let alone the entire game. Gotta just reach in and see if you're gonna collect a kill. 6-4 will be able to do that. What a menace, Vinny. Goes down with the ship as well.
It's a little extra money for everybody. Cash in himself, plus denying Boston. That's a little nice addition at the end. Very important gun round coming up, Mark. It's really about whether or not KSU can stabilize here, maintain control of this game. Otherwise, Boston likely to be stepping forward into, you know, what was a competitive first half, being the same here in the second. Tyler gets visual on 2, the cross. He doesn't take the shot. Push for long control. KSU have that, but Cat entirely left open for now. Gonna change that shortly.
Ooh. Tried to escape the spam. Looked good for a minute. Down to 50 HP though. Kind of saw lose their space at Cat. Lose a player at long. Boston reroute entirely. Junk should check into this. On back down to the site level. All of Tunnel's control is cleared out, so Oryx should know which way this thing is coming. Are cleared out. Signal as to where this thing is headed. Lurk doing one hell of a job to cut Oryx off at the back, and there's a shot into it can pick up. Sight keeping honest as well. But Junk standing pretty tall. Junk with another frag is gonna escape. He's getting Nitsua's help here momentarily from long. He's just got to wait.
Spy time. That's the idea. Oh, and Yoshi can't make the adjustment. So, as much as Nitsua goes low, Bobby has a whole lot of work to do. But he's already found the first. The HP so low, but burning. And that is the pressure to get out in the open for Nitsua to convert. Clutch there, a 1v1. KSU. They saw Boston find some 1vx success with Yoshi, but now they've posted up 2 clutches of their own to find 11 rounds.
Yeah, it's a really impressive moment to stand up. Entire early round there, I feel like, is in the favor of Boston until they reroute towards long. Even in that instance, it's Junk that stands up with a really good hold and makes that thing plausible. But Boston University running circles around that round. It sort of feels like they get another good gun round here. It feels like they're on thin ice.
I'm telling you, that ice is not getting any thicker. Might be the cold season, but things are heating up in the server as KSU leveled at the beginning of this round. Early jump goes, and Oryx tries, he might, to work that spam, loses out.
6-4. What a shot. Back from Yoshi. Collects another in that distance. 20 frags. Rich in this game for a personal performance. Feels like NECC State are about to be reset. We're going to have a batch of upgraded pistols at best to come back. At Boston, if they know it's good for themselves, keeping their economy level, I would say all USPs, don't spend $1. Pay attention to the budget.
Yeah, I mean, those budgets are tight, and to be honest with you, you know, it's getting to holiday season. We're all pinching some pennies.
Yup.
The way it goes, and
Black
you know,
Friday.
That's right.
And all that.
Gotta wait for the best deals.
Deals. I love deals.
Deals with a Z.
What if they made all the guns in Counter-Strike half off for one day?
That'd be really funny.
That'd
They
be
should
freaky,
definitely
man.
do that as a
On a Freaky Friday, Black Friday, like, collaboration.
You know, that's maybe something that I think Valve could do a much better job at, and it's just not in Valve's
like,
DNA.
Everything? Sorry.
All right, we got the Valve chill versus the Valve hater right here.
Yeah.
But no, you know, a lot of game companies, you know, they do fun little gimmicks or gags for different holidays and whatnot.
Yeah, like putting pumpkins on the heads of the chickens.
Yeah, they've done a couple of things.
Where
They've
is
done
it?
a couple of things, but the point I was gonna make is, you know, they could do something even funnier on Black Friday and do that, like a little game mode where guns are half off.
What about a Thanksgiving game mode first? I don't know what that would entail.
You want to shoot a giant chicken with an AK-47?
That would be pretty morbid. Absolutely not. I would never do that.
I'm just like throwing
It's
ideas
really
out
mean
there.
that you would actually, you know, suggest something like that.
Hold on a moment.
I can't believe
All of our
you.
jokesters aside here.
Are we done acting?
A little bit. Hold on. There's a game important decision being made here on
Yes,
KSU.
this is true. The eco
Take
round is
a,
passed. Let's regain composure.
Yeah, they take the time out here talking over, right? We were talking about how tight their money is. Well, you know, they're feeling that squeeze, and that's why they go for this half-buy SMGs instead of the full gun. They're going to give Boston a chance here to take 11 before they get the full gun round out. So, a very important decision. Obviously, can still win with this type of purchase.
Trying to boss this out on a flash. Can't quite do it. You know, 2 players are going to be here in this B site, and they're going to take them both out in one fell swoop. There's going to be Junk responding to things. They're going to pull an A immediately. Pretty clean round. Out here for Boston, all things considered. They lose Bobby in the mix, but they got plenty of money to revive Bobby in a pretty rich manner. They got a tied game just like that. And it looks like they're stealing enough momentum to potentially steal a map pick away.
Well, that's the thing. Kennesaw, The decision they made there that we were just talking about, it's all about getting the best buy right now. It's building up to literally this, and it's got to go perfectly. 4 towards A. That been seen. NAC only sees the singular cross, so there's going to be a little bit of an inkling already for Boston that something's up.
Right up catwalk. You have all this space. Right now, Boston. All of the room. It feels like they're catching Toasties off guard right now. He knows what's coming. Really good shots put up in response. But Boston gonna pour it on one at a time. 2v2. And all of this gonna be just relaxed from 6th floor. Goes back into pit. It gives Ulrich more time to rotate.
Pound for pound, frag for frag, Boston, they weathered the storm of what was a really good hold from Nitsua and Junk. They've just confirmed that 6-4 is long and in pit. That's a huge asset. Now both playing safe from catwalk as well as taking the fights long. It's all up to Oryx.
All this space. Almost lining it up. Almost. But Bobby pops up with the headshot. It's at AK in Boston University. They got 12 rounds first on Kennesaw's map pick. This is Dust 2 that he selected into the series. Ancient up next door if Boston wants to take this 2-0.
Well, this is what I've been saying all the way through this season. It feels like Boston in games where, they've played the same opponents as Kennesaw State has already. It's been them who've been a little bit closer, just a little bit more capable, taking maps where KSU aren't able to. That's the difference right now. The story of this season for Kennesaw State. They give Boston an inch, they take a mile. Could be the kill shot right here on Dust 2.
Forced out of the corner off of the firefight and is just claimed. Oryx with the next flip and it's gone. I feel like this entire first map is going to be out here in these next couple of steps. There's Nitsua and it's 1 versus 4. Duncan Patrol. And unfortunately, looks like Boston have this one better. 13-11. They'll steal Kennesaw State Gold's map selection.
So close, so tight, and a critical decision at a big moment to go for the double eco, essentially a half buy at that moment. Honestly, I don't think a mistake there from Kennesaw State. Personally, I think I'd make the same decision, but it does open the door. In Boston, they put their foot in there. They do not let them close it, and they make sure that instead they close themselves in a 13-11 victory. That's great work from Boston in a tight game that it looked like they were losing track of at the beginning of that T-half. They find a way to stabilize.
Yeah, it was a very tight first half. You finish out that like 7-5, you can kind of get up on that end around, start to see, how you can take a path forward. In the second half, it was a little bit too perfect. You can start to like really add things up, and eventually in that type of fashion, to pull up an upset, you always kind of are, I mean, in my mind, like I was in my head favoring Kennesaw to take their own map pick in a close game like that, but then there was just a round that they were able to choke up there. And that second half to finally cut that away, make that a very close contingent. And like I said, I have not seen, an Ancient here. I don't know if I mentioned that. I was going through their vetoes right after we kind of get this going, Vinny. I don't see an Ancient official here, a part of what they played this season out here on the Kennesaw State side. So we got a red flag type of problem in that order.
Now we're going to have to see what those are looking like and even what a red flag means. Which yellow flag, red flag? I don't know. Maybe there's a green flag. It could be the time, though, to find that out. We are going to look towards a break with Ancient coming up. Before we do, make sure you check out our partners over at Winzel's Farms as well. Legendary Wisconsin meat sticks since 1977. I've had them. They're fantastic. 14 mouth-watering flavors. Make sure that you check them out. We appreciate our partners over at Winzel's Farm, so you absolutely should as well. We're going to take that break. We'll jump into Ancient when we return.
Again, why does it feel so hard to breathe? Why does it feel so hard to breathe? So hard to breathe. Never found, but these voices bring me to my knees. Again, why do you waste your light on me? Again, feeling the ground collapse on me.
I think we got a potential banger on for this one, Mark. A very close dust to the Boston University just take over the line in 13-11 fashion. And you know what? There was a world in which Kennesaw State were able to win that. I really feel like we were very close to that reality. But for Boston, I really want to give them credit too. I think they came alive at the right moment. Some big clutch rounds as well that didn't necessarily go their way, but they weathered the storm and they made it work on their opponent's map pick. Mark, where are you standing as we look into this agent?
Yeah, look, I really agree that, especially coming off of like the back and forth that we got out of that first map, like it definitely has the vibe of a 3-mapper. But like I was saying just before we went to break, when I got the chance to look at Kennesaw State and where they played their officials during this regular season, not one of them have came to this ancient, not in a decider, not in one of their picks. So this is one that they have pushed out. And so I gotta wonder if this is going to be a problem for a team that, I think with the talent that they have, they should be able to pug it no problem. I feel like Ancient should be plenty familiar to these players, but I got to imagine that that's going to be a really good feeling for a Boston University team that's going to, look to take this in 2-0 fashion.
Especially onto a little bit of a home of theirs where they are willing to pick into it, where they are looking to be a dominant force on this map, because that's the other thing. I think capable of very consistently winning, even despite situations, right? We saw those rounds where Yoshi was like individually pulling disadvantaged situations back, able to find the clutches. Those are a lot of those that really were impressive. And despite the fact that I think we saw a bit of a resurgence there in the second half from the likes of Kennesaw State, as a whole, I think that level of skill, it did shine through, especially Tyler, as we got to the back end of those last 3 or 4 rounds. There was a lot to like on that front, where I think there was definitely more to what Boston University could provide. Like I had said, this is my first time getting to watch this team, so getting a chance to look up close and personal to what these guys are made of, it's very impressive.
Yeah, no, they've definitely passed the eye test. They passed a lot in terms of where they can perform in the clutch, back and forth consistently in that game. I think competing at a high level here, and we got to see if they can keep it up here when the pressure is out and they can have a chance to close in a 2-0 state. We know Kennesaw is a team that is made of a lot. They've earned that respect, Vincent. We got to see if they can put that pat down where they maybe don't have a lot of that experience.
Yeah, that's the question. Maybe this they've had in the back pocket. 6-4, gonna be the first to take the fight. Oryx actually went down just ahead of that. Yoshi trades them both. The 2-for-1. Heavy junk swinging in and hoping for a lot, but he gets nada. And he actually gives the dualies over to the T's.
A hard haul out of here. In back of this corner. Pushing with a nice shot. Nitsua gotta make a couple more of those happen. Closing in on some of the contact. There's that final swing. Boston University keep that pistol round hooked on the line. Reeled it in for that first. Kennesaw State didn't get much back for that. to complete that in pretty good control.
Tell you this, man, Yoshi, we talked about him. I was mentioning him a lot there, you know, when we're talking about like how impressive he was. 4 kills though in that pistol round where he like was the guy every single time, catching junk on the re-aggression as he pushes through a smoke. It's him who gets the initial kill into Oryx. He also trades his teammate out onto the second man in Donut. Just like really impressive stuff from Yoshi top to bottom in that pistol. And just, I mean, there's no fear from Tyler there. He is sprinting in the cave. Kind of absurd into pistols.
That spray down. Toaster's whipping back. They're going to get this bomb planted, and 4 and Oryx going to be rotating in. 1 headshot. 6-4 put down. 1v3. Oryx! Whew, making that way too close. 5-7. Capable of doing that. Boston University showing that they're pretty clear and capable to control these first 2 rounds. I hope that's not a test.
I'll tell you what Oryx has been kind of showing in general that he's capable of, and that's being, you know, a critical piece to this KSU fragging department. I feel like he was so consistently good across the entirety of Dust 2. But, you know, now into a map where there's more uncertainty, I think, for KSU, is where he's going to have to shine even more so alongside 6-4 or that duo. Take towards mid. Oryx and Junk who do so. Meet up, find nobody in Jag.
Spraying out of the corner. NECC to get that back. At the start of that spray. Is whipping around that corner. Oryx with the spray. And it's Boston still in range.
Range for the B hit for sure, but you know, it's face up. This is exactly what KSU now know is going to be happening. Oryx, he's just taking no for an answer. He will not be stopped. It's what kills the last man who was pushing up the B ramp is Oryx. I mean, he is that guy. We were just talking about it. 3 kills in the first gun round for KSU, and a really nice mid protocol too, where they got all those details in place where they can more easily take towards Jag. It's sort of a 2-pronged approach with 2 inside of cave, 2 up shelf, and a crunch towards the B lane that's very difficult for Boston to contend with.
And now Boston University up the ramp on the contrary. Kennesaw State lose their anchor, lose a lot of room in this site. Boston University can rob it, but it seems like Oryx has activated. Goodness gracious. This is really rampant. Still immediately requesting NECC to stand up. He's more than willing to call out his own position. Now required to likely come through that smoke. You'll see him. Kennesaw State tied up 2-2.
Man, Oryx's head just like on a swivel there. The tightest of spots where he's got a Tech 9 sprinting at him from behind and 2 AKs right in front that he's got to deal with. And he handles it all. Cool as a cucumber. No question that under pressure becomes a diamond. Gonna see that sparkle and shine as he is out in front, 8-2 for KSU's tied score. Boston on the eco before, now they've got another bye with AKs for the majority.
We'll put up that smoke. Still standing at the top of it. Walked off. Big nade up top. Trying to spam through clear on this corner. Quite cut. NECC with a nice shot. I mean, that's vision, and that is really good. And Boston are able to walk out with a kill in this frame. NECC has got more respect for this. Still processing.
Now the only question is how much does Oryx be able to do? In fact, that flash for NECC I thought would have been perfect. Nitsua gonna pay the price. Oryx is hearing all of this. Toaster's coming in, but NECC knows that he's done enough.
There it is. 1v4 here. Toasters right around. Cancels the plant. Can't quite clear it. Lined it up. And now Boston will line up that lead 3 in a row here. They cut out Kennesaw State's start.
Boston University noticing how preemptive Kennesaw have been about mid control. If you're getting someone up shelf consistently, that's usually going to mean that there's at minimum one person throwing utility and watching elbow. So the vast majority of the defense being aligned over at B or middle means that the A site's a little bit more open. NECC takes advantage of that, goes deep and basically gets into CT spawn where he holds off rotations. Beautiful work from him to get Boston that lead back. These are swift decisions, swift rotations. Oryx going to find one, pluck one out of the smoke as Tyler just peeking out through it.
See, we're gonna try and go. Just on instinct, on cue. Might be collected. There's Bobby with a great adjustment here. I feel like sight will be bullied by this point. Oh, that's a painful watch. Now 6-4 will try and save the single gun.
Kennesaw State sort of reeling from the very beginning of this round. They never had an opportunity. That's a shadow scene here. Or not. I thought for sure that NECC had seen the shadow of 6-4, but apparently not the case. Yeah, a pretty chaotic round where Boston had control of a lot of the map. KSU thought they would get out with Oryx's kill, but it's just not enough. Left to save this gun. Boy, what a shot there from Yoshi. Barely anything of 6-4 being left in the open, but it's still good to see a victory. Boston post up 2 rounds to start, lose the next 2, but it's now 2 in a row since then. A little bit of a pattern emerging, but I don't think it will continue with Kennesaw State with a lackluster amount of money.
Easy opening kill against the pistols. Maybe a little bit too much invested for my liking. I know I was making some comments like that on the first map, but looks to be some profits over here. And properly, we'll probably avoid the rest of the altercation. We'll see if 6-4, who they're pretty suspect about at the end of the site, will get collected. He is cleaned. There's that double by Tyler. 1v4. Oryx will save this gun away. I'll have to tap his foot and be patient.
I mean, I'd be really happy about getting an AK, though, in a round like this. Even if it doesn't include as much economic damage as you'd be hoping for. Nonetheless, a Boston University that's going to lengthen the lead a little bit. And this, I think, would be the biggest lead they've had. Is back and forth. Only really a 1 or 2 round advantage in the first half of Dust 2. Then KSU are the one who had the lead. Lengthened it at the beginning of the second half of that map. Now Boston get a little taste of that type of victory. No save either. Limit Kennesaw State gold to the minimum. Should mean pretty comfortable buy, but lacking some of the bells and whistles, particularly not seeing many kits in the conversation here for KSU.
Yeah, the way they're currently calling and running this H&T side gives the pretty seasoned feel of how well and how much experience they have tapped upon this. Bobby feels like he flicked right past this player who is running in and outside a cave. It's ugly around these smokes. What's taking them so long? Toasters right on the other side of this. They get close enough to deny a plant. First kill goes that way. A Boston University. There is 2 in a row, as a matter of fact.
Wait, but hold on.
What is this? Oryx in a pop out of the breaching cave. Have a double nade, but a 1v1. Nitsua will just square up Ghazi. A perfect flash! He had that on the backspin. Kennesaw State with a third. That is just spectacular.
It's Oryx who made the comeback for the start. He and Nitsua come sprinting back in from Cave, and then it's Nitsua in the 1v1. Like you said, a little bit of spin on the grenade, so the flash pops perfectly as he baits him into the look. Boston, they had that. They should have had that. Ghazi almost stops it, but Nitsua saves the day. KSU, from nothing to a victory, and a little bit of something more you might see in this future. Still expensive, that last round. Don't get it wrong. There was a worrying lack of utility to this. Nitz was the only one who had a full set. It's all gone in a minute and 30. Every last grenade that KSU had coming into this is no longer.
And then a wall bang by Nitsua. Yeah, right. I'll be particularly effective on the Ghazi as well, who's been a pretty good player for the C side. Clearing out middle is Kennesaw State, and look at this stat. It's all the way back up to B, at least having a leg inside a cave, and maybe one at the back square. Nitsua, he's going to get active for a double time on this site, and just no doubt losing his vision, but now trying to loosen this loose back. Turn this corner. Now with a great shot, a 1v3. Nitsua now.
Just clutched, but this time he need an ace, and I think that is just too much to ask. He was one of 2 kits that came into this round, but even that's not enough to convince him of this clutch attempt. Knack on the low health, not well known. Boston, take that last round's loss on the chin. Nitsua's dead. In the back from Yoshi, a trio of kills from Yoshi as he will stomp them out. Back to that 3-round lead, and oh boy, KSU. Their economy not looking pretty. They just cannot catch a break. There's no level of consistency to build up a CT side right now, Mark.
Kennesaw State will get busy pretty quickly. Now they've detected Tyler. There's no way that they don't just make this a problem here. Pistols will likely get cut up. Oryx with a nice double. Making a problem here with missed shots. They're going to get their hands on some rifles. Yoshi just right around this corner. Going to get mollied off. They have so much space. There's no way, right?
This thing's still real ugly for Boston. At least they're coming in from 2 different angles. They can double swing here. That's the setup that they're taking.
Great set. And there is Nitsua that finishes a 4th round here. And there is it all gone. That might be the round that they steal to secure a little bit of money to walk forward here at the end of the first half.
Nitsua's having to do it all himself right now. I know Oryx has been making these situations winnable, but it's Nitsua who's been converting them into wins, right? You know, it takes 2 to tango in this situation, but KSU, they are getting so very fortunate that Nitsua's been capable of doing this. And right on target as Ghazi gonna fall back. Make that mid-control a little late for KSU. On Boston find access to B.
Big nade. Kennesaw State will be right behind. There's the spray down 3v3. There is Yoshi. Bring it down. Junk right outside. Turns it away for a 2v2. And this is going to be very hard for Boston to hold on to. Bobby in the clutch. Gotta provide once more a spray that doesn't look to hit. And it absolutely cannot. It is a 5th here for Kennesaw. They got plenty a breathing room now here with 2 in a row and a chance to complete the half.
I mean, this is a very scrappy half out of KSU. They are winning in the most difficult ways possible, but every win they get, it's adding up round after round, and they finally broken Boston's economy as well. It's a big opportunity to tie this scoreline. Nitsuwa gave them those chances. Last round, they didn't need him. Kennesaw with a great opportunity right here and now to shut Boston down. CT side that I wouldn't say one to be so super proud of, but one they can be happy with.
Gonna quickly gauge this play towards A. How much room do they realistically have off of their time these 2 approaches? Oh, that is a shot. You know how quickly this can get trampled. Just no way. There's a team kill that goes back. Boston responsible for it. They lose a player in this distance, but what is this shot? Out of Yoshi, the dream alive here at the end of the half. Boston University make up for a little bit of a mistake here into the A site. It's clean, and they control the end of the first half.
Their stumbles and troubles, Kennesaw State able to somewhat stabilize by the time you get to halftime. With Boston taking that tight lead, it's a similar scene to what Kennesaw was working with on D2. From here, Boston, allegedly a little bit of an easier look. They go onto the CT side. That's usually going to be preferable. And they rush for Kennesaw. The 2 smokes they need into place.
What a great triple from Yoshi! Taking off that USB. Intimidating. Now with that Tech 9, gotta find some line on this shot back, and there is Boston to the second half. Pulling out the Monacy moves.
It's an incredible highlight with a unsilenced USB, but I'll tell you this. It's just the move he likes to make. He did that on Dust 2 as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Things barking at you. What was it, like Simple that started doing that? Said that was the reason?
I don't know.
What, am
I
I making
honestly
stuff
don't
up?
remember. I honestly don't remember. At that point, though, why not just use the P2K?
I think it's the meaning. It's a little bit weird. Too expensive is the word I'm hearing. Take off that USP. Will be a different breed. The silencer. Who knows, fitting.
I fear they are the same price. I'm crying. Hold on a moment.
Oh,
Kennesaw.
no!
Ain't no way. Well, talking about saving money, this is great value.
Tyler in the middle of
1v3.
things. I really feel like he can probably produce and provide a clutch here with the bomb right behind him. Everybody separated. I mean, Tyler walking it back down, tries to tuck in toe. Here is Oryx. Gonna walk this way. Tyler just checking, and there's a headshot above. Tyler with a huge clutch. Wipes away a lot of concern here.
Ooh.
That would have been a great opportunity for Kennesaw to steal the beginning of the second half away. Boston, they have both hands on it.
Yeah, but Mark, here's the thing. Kennesaw didn't buy. They were saving. That was all, winning the round would have been awesome. No doubt. But they weren't planning on that. The fact that it comes down to a 1v1 in the very end, only Tyler surviving, he has to clutch up. That's enough. Boston bounced back a little bit on their should have been an easy round, and instead was very difficult.
Back turn that corner. 4v4. There is Oryx inside with Bobby. Spraying back in a 3v3. All with his control taken outside of A by Yoshi. Information also a factor in this game when Boston will collapse upon this T side. There it is, Bobby from up top, and there's Tyler in tow. They ruin it all.
Dude, Tyler is a beast, exterminating them. As they walk back in, they get destroyed. Everyone was slowed down by that smoke, and I was wondering, I was watching Bobby like throw flash after flash there, wondering what the game plan was. Well, I think I figured it out, and so did Kennesaw. It was just buying time for Tyler to get up into their back line, find that multi-frag, and he gets them all. Tyler, an unstoppable force at the time. Boston need that guy that they can rely on to step up. He is indeed him. We will get Kennesaw to a half fight. Looked like that was going to be a B rush. Instead, they slow it down.
NECC just right around. Got to take advantage of all of that nade damage. They are just putting him up on the cutting board. All of Kennesaw turned into mincemeat for this 11th.
Tough for Kennesaw because things at the beginning of that round start to look pretty reasonable. It's a 1-for-1 trade. The first man up shelf goes, single frag. Ghazi goes down, and there's just not a lot left there for Boston to do. But a nice nade on point sets the MP9 up for success. NECC working wonders, and Boston at 11 rounds. About to put a speed run to the end of this map because 7-5 at half. It's now 11-5 for Kennesaw. Look for that B rush for real.
There it is. Works with a nice shot. And it just seems like, at least for now, Kennesaw got an angle in this thing, but they shut me right up. 4 kills and a flash, and I feel like it's 12. It is just star-studded for that Boston side. They get the bomb all the way back where Kennesaw came from. And now you're just tricked, so far focused on what was around that corner. It is Cave that is cut up pretty quickly. 12-5 here, and this Ancient is about as, maybe even better than I thought it was, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
it was going to be good, but not this good.
I too am surprised, especially for, listen, I was calling it exactly how it was the whole half, where Kennesaw, they got 5 rounds, but there were scrappy rounds. It was not always pretty. Really, it wasn't ever pretty, but they were able to do it. This half has been anything but that. Not able to win no matter how it gets sliced up, and the nades are devastating. Fire, flames all over Elbow. Boston, they take them all. They sweep them away.
There is a huge kill. 5 versus 2. And I think this should be it. Toasters gone out of this thing. I feel like we would have had 3 maps. This thing would have gone differently in Dust 2, but not tonight. Stolen at the end of that first map. But map number 2, that's a different conversation. So clean, Vincent. Boston University take this 2-0.
Very impressive out of Boston. I am very happy about what we just saw. The good news, there is, a very competitive Dust 2 out of the squad over at Kennesaw State. But Mark, I'm very impressed with what Boston just put on display. I mean, that second half was literally perfect, flawless. They didn't drop a single round.
Yeah, that was, all through. I was a big fan of that T side as well. The second half there, actually perfect, like you just mentioned. I think that says a lot about a Boston University team that, we didn't know how to, sort of measure up to some of these expectations because we haven't actually got them on the broadcast. We just saw, a similarly ranked team right here with, I believe, the distance being, 20th ranked, Kennesaw State versus, the underdog, as a matter of fact, 25th. Boston University. You come up here and the first map meets that temperature. There was no surprise. That was kind of meeting our odds. But when I saw that in the veto, I had to assume that Ancient was going to be different. They ended up stealing that first map, Vincent, and it can be easier than that.
Yeah, I'm very happy about what we just saw from Boston. I also want to just highlight NECC, who, I was mentioning had a really pretty horrific start to Dust 2, was able to claw back to something more reasonable by the very end there, had some big impact moments, and then absolutely star power when it came to the final map there on Ancient. That's a bounce back that you love to see. I like that type of storyline. And then you add to that, Tyler, who was good the whole time, but man, so impressed with what he was capable of doing towards the back end. All of these things like really adding to what I feel like was, a really cool, Boston team that continued to prove that they could be, the better squad as this game went on.
Yeah, 100%, man. It was pretty impressive all the way through, and it's maybe a good thing, Vinny, that it was a quicker series for him. Because you know what, gamers? Your eyes are taking a beating out there. But buy blue light glasses. They've got you covered. They're one of our partners over here at the NECC. Their premium blue light glasses keep you sharp, they keep you focused, and ready for victory, of course, without that eye strain that we know your monitor can put on you. I bet yours is too bright. Level up your game and protect your vision. Check out Buy Blue Light today, official eye care partner of the NECC. BYE bluelight.com.
Absolutely, check them out. And whilst you're at it, check out, we've got over on the mainstream Rocket League still going on. Old Dominion and USC Garnett is live. NECC_esports is where you can find that. So make sure you're checking that out. I think we got League of Legends tomorrow as things continue. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. We'll see you in a couple of weeks for Counter-Strike. Next week or on Wednesday, you're going to see Rainbow Six. So make sure to tune in there. But for now, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time here at the NECC.
I gotta get to you.